Hello and welcome to News-ish, the show so brutally honest that I actually warn you that I'm not going to be that brutally honest if there's any option more interesting to me. Straight into it, people doing dumb shit time. Playboy model Danny Mathers uploaded a Snapchat a while ago making fun of some old lady in a gym for being an old lady while also in a gym, and she may be facing a lawsuit for it now. Now, to the people that saw that headline and started saying, the PC police, you shouldn't be catching a lawsuit over a joke. She's not. She's catching a lawsuit because she shared private photos of another human being that she doesn't know. She's an asshole because of a joke. At this point, there is still no statement from Marshall. What? Celebrity news time. Eminem is in no way related to Danny Mathers. News to me. Just kind of heard the name and assumed. Controversy time. Right in the capper nick of time, am I right? I mean, not really. It happened almost a month ago, but I did think about it before I just meme vomited everywhere. See if that makes a difference. Probably still going to be a lot of people that just disagree with me, angrily. So Football Guy didn't stand up for America song. Depending on your Facebook feed, that may be literally all you heard about it. So Colin Kaepernick, whose name I am wisely choosing not to spell publicly, didn't stand up for the national anthem, after which I thought, oh well, and too bad I don't have more information on the subject, then I could have an informed opinion. Along with, if he'd have done this 10 years ago, when I was temporarily convincing myself that I liked ball-centric sports, I would have completely supported his protest against pointless standing. I was an often tired child. But then Kaepernick did something that shed some light onto his motives as for why he did it. He said why he did it. In the end, it turned out to be to protest injustices against minorities and a bunch of other really specific things that made a lot, not all, but most old white people very angry. Now I could go on all day about how if a white guy jumped onto a stage, refused to put his hand over his heart, and then started selling hats that basically say America's kind of shitty right now, there would be fewer people telling him to go back to Africa, and more people voting for him as the Republican nominee. But that only applies perfectly to the people that are so extreme that they think Obama is the literal Antichrist and weed is the devil's lettuce. It's more like Snoop Dogg's kale. I could also make the point that a lot of the people attacking him for it probably do the exact same thing. I've been around real football people, watching a real football game, alright? The kind of people that get sloppy drunk and spend 10 minutes explaining that defense wins championships to their mortified daughter and her friend. That was a weirdly formative memory for me. Hardworking, red-blooded, very much pro-defense Americans, but when that anthem hit, everyone in the room decided that exact moment was the best time to protest nothing. It was really just the sitting part. But I think that argument is kind of as besides the point as the ones about how just sitting disqualifies anything he says after from mattering. So I'm gonna leave some room for disagreement because so the guy that did it. Kaepernick himself said that he knew that he may end up in a little bit of controversy over the whole thing, but that he thought that there needed to be a conversation and he was in the position to start one. And when you think objectively, that's all he did. How many people do you think would really be talking about it if he just said something on Twitter? Now, you could argue that his protest wasn't perfectly angled at the right people, and on some level, I would agree with you. But I think that was just a casualty of reaching the broader audience that he did. Still worth mentioning, but if all you talk about is how he's basically a terrorist because you disagree with his completely peaceful, non-violent form of protest, you're just cutting yourself out of the conversation that actually matters. If you're just talking without saying anything and contributing, then you're just aligning yourself with the worst parts of that conversation, which in this case is 40-style racism on Twitter. It's like if you're taking a multiple person order at a food place and one of the people just starts staring off into the middle distance and saying, AIDS, 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 AIDS. You're gonna tune that guy out just a little bit. So if you disagree with what Kaepernick is saying, say that. That's the whole entire reason that he said that in the first place. If you disagree with how he said it, you're free to acknowledge it, but if you get hung up, you might as well just start saying AIDS, and that's weird and confusing. Moving on, whatever the hell I want time. Today, I'll be giving advice that nobody asked for. If you're drunk in a drive-thru, you've already fucked up for hopefully obvious reasons. Here's a few ways to keep from doubling down on that. All of these have happened to me. Don't say that you're not drunk for 3 reasons. Number 1, they can tell you're lying. Number 2, they don't give a shit. They're not going to call the cops. Number 3, they're going to judge you either way. You can't stop it. Don't ask if they're going to spit in your food, because if they were going to spit in your food, why would they tell you? Also, it makes it a higher chance that you're going to get spit in your food because it makes it seem like you're already open to that kind of a possibility, and it makes it seem like you know that you did something that deserves spit in the food and that you're aware of it. Don't go nuts over a sauce upcharge, right? It's 15 cents. You can handle it. Also, they're only adding it in the first place because they don't like you and it's too late to change that. Don't try to tell me all of the reasons that women are just no good, man, because you're just gonna make me feel a little bit sorry for whatever happened to you and a lot sorry for all of the women that you have to interact with in your life. Don't break up. Or do. I'm not really pro breakup, but in my experience, there is no more hilarious a context for it than the drive-thru. It's just you and somebody that you cared about and trusted facing a harsh reality. And also Steve handing you the change. Those last two were not the same guy, even though that would have been hilarious. That's everything for me. Please like and share the video if you want to. Trailer Park Girls go round the outside, round the outside, round the outside. You ever get one part of a song stuck in your head?